Stanley, Scuba, Sailing, and Adventures. It's time to relax, unwind, and log another dive in the travel journal. This will be a night dive at the Sunset House Wall off the west coast of Grand Cayman. This is the fifth dive of the day on day 5 of the Cayman Islands scuba trip. And for this particular trip, it's dive number 19 for me overall for the week, if you're keeping score. The dive started at 8:10 and lasted just about 51 minutes. I had an average depth of 44 feet and a maximum depth of 63 feet. I found this sleeping fish near the beginning of the dive, and yes, that fish is sleeping. It's always kind of strange when you see a fish sleeping. I don't really think about them laying on the bottom to go to sleep at night. I didn't linger too long. I didn't want to disturb the fish. Here's an anemone, which, yes, I was able to say that correctly on the first try, which that's not always the case. My dive computer recorded an average water temperature of 86 degrees Fahrenheit and a minimum water temperature of 84 degrees Fahrenheit. So the water was quite comfortable for December. As you can see, there's quite a bit of particulate in the water. See the other diver light there in the distance? It's pretty easy to find the other divers at night. I'm trying out a new light here, and it has a luminescent feature. So I'm trying to find some things that will biofluoresce. When you're night diving, you tend to look down in front of you because your light doesn't go that far, but you saw before the other divers in the distance. It's easy to look up and find where the group is, and occasionally you should be looking up to make sure you're not getting too far away from the central group. I believe the rule for night diving is to have a primary torch and a backup torch and a tank marker. I'm not sure if that's 100% correct. It's been many years since I did my night diving certification, but I usually dive with at least that many lights, if not more. I seem to have forged a relationship with OrcaTorch, and I do a lot of product reviews for them. This is not a product review, but I was demoing some lights and recording video for that product review during this dive, and I have a playlist on my channel just for specifically product reviews, and it includes some other things other than just the torches, but if you're interested in product reviews, take a look there. I don't get paid for the product reviews, but I do get to keep the products that I review, so it's a pretty good deal. But at this point, I've amassed a huge collection of dive lights. I'm not sure what to do with them, if I should start gifting those or maybe trying to sell some of those on the resale market. Things I just don't seem to get around to. If you've been watching the series, you'll know that this is my third dive on this site. I made 2 day dives, and this is the same wreck. Here on the night dive, I'm going to be very close to the wreck so that it really lights up and you see the colors, because if you're more than 3 or 4 feet away, especially at night, the light just does not reach your subject. I really enjoy the diving here in Grand Cayman, even though I mentioned several times throughout the series we had some weather challenges. I knew that coming in December, particularly, you're not sure what you're going to get in terms of weather, but the crew was great and they made sure we got in all of our dives. We were limited to certain dive sites, but all of the dive sites were really, really great in my opinion, and the service was incredible. So really enjoyed the trip. I got to dive with a good friend I've known for a long time, so that was fun as well. I gave some information about this wreck in the day video, and just very basically, this is a beach landing craft, I believe, some sort of military craft. Which that makes sense and seems to align with the dive site. There's a mermaid statue here, and if I recall correctly, I think I read the plaque in the last dive video that it's for combat divers, the statue. So this being a combat vessel, beach landing craft, aligns with the theme of the dive site, if you will. Lots of growth on this wreck. I don't know how long it's been here. I couldn't really find any detailed information on it, just some general information, and most of that from blogs, nothing official, so really don't have a lot of detailed information to provide. Today is the last full day of diving. Tomorrow will be a half day, and then we'll start the process of trying to dry our dive gear and get it all packed back up to head home. For this night dive, I'm using my GoPro on an Icolite tray with a couple of dive lights, dive video lights. And I was thinking about it. I've never taken pictures on a night dive. I don't think I've ever brought my large camera rig on a night dive. And the reason being, I feel like I'm still really just learning underwater photography, so not quite comfortable or confident enough to stretch into night diving with the full camera rig. There are some interesting things on night dives that you just don't see during the day, so I'm starting to think maybe it's time to bring the larger camera rig on one of these night dives. There's a sea urchin. Those actually move around, and they come out at night. I don't know if you were aware of that, but they actually do move. I didn't know that until a couple of years ago. I always thought, well, they just kind of stay there. But that's another reason why night dives are so interesting. You get to experience the same dive sites in a totally different way. If you've watched this video series and maybe some of my other video series, you know that I usually only do 1, maybe 2 night dives on a trip, and that's really because of my ears. When I'm doing 4 to 5 dives a day for a week straight, my ears really tend to get mucky and have the fluid, by mucky I mean fluid build up in my ears, and it can get really bad, and I've actually had to miss some dives when I tried to push too hard at the beginning of the trip. I've tried a variety of things. I've tried Sudafed, I've tried Sudafed and ear beer, nasal spray, Here's another sleeping fish and a sponge. That's so interesting to me. Anyway, I've tried a variety of different things to keep my ears clear because I would love to do 5 dives a day every day. So if you have any suggestions, I'm completely open. Drop me a note. Let me know if you've got some system that works for you. I'd really love to hear about it. Also, let me know what's your favorite part of a night dive. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment.